Hi, this is Jay Harris again with Infinitybox. In this video, I want to talk about what comes with our 20-circuit kit. The 20-circuit kit is our most popular product, and it becomes the core to the electrical system in your car. It is a complete and universal electrical system that's going to control all the primary loads in your car using our smart and advanced wiring technology. As the name implies, it controls 20 circuits. And those 20 circuits are controlled through 2 power cells, each having 10 outputs. 1 power cell for the front of the car, 1 power cell for the rear. It also includes one of our master cells, which connects to all the switches in your car. And we have other videos talking about the details of the master cell and the power cells. Check the description below for more information. But I want to talk about the other things that make this a complete and universal wiring kit. Essentially, in the 20-circuit kit, you get everything you need to go from the battery to bring power to your power cells, to connect your power cells to the things that you're turning on and off, to connect your master cell to your switches, to connect the master cell to the power cells using our CAN cable, and also all the other things that you need to make a safe and reliable electrical system for your car. So let's start at the battery. So the first thing you're going to find in the 20-circuit kit is a length of 4-gauge battery cable. That battery cable is going to connect the positive terminal of your battery to a primary block of fuses. That primary block of fuses are what we call the mega fuses. And those are 4 fuses ganged together in a high reliability fuse holder. And those 4 fuses protect the primary feeds going from the battery to the power cells. And this is very important because if you are ever to get into an accident or a collision and one of those 8-gauge wires were to short to ground, you want the fuse to open up before one of those 8-gauge cables gets hot and potentially causes a fire. And you also need to be concerned that over the life of the car, if the insulation on one of those wires were to rub to ground, you want the fuse to be there to open up first before the cables get hot. So we've talked about the primary 4-gauge wire going from the battery to the mega fuse block. We've talked about the details of that mega fuse block. We also include the ring terminals to connect the 4-gauge cable to the battery and the bus bar and the fuse holder, and also connect the mega fuse holder to the primary power feeds going to the power cells. And that's the next item. So in the kit, we also include 4 8-gauge harnesses that take the power from the battery to feed the power cells. Each power cell gets fed by 2 of these 8-gauge cables, and the 8-gauge cables are sized to have the right gauge to carry the highest current that the power cell can handle. All of these harnesses use high reliability and high durability TXL insulation, so they're chemical and abrasion resistant. So we've talked about how we've brought primary power from the battery through the fuse holder all the way up to the power cells. Now let's talk about how we connect the power cells to your loads. Your loads may include things like your headlights, your turn signals, your cooling fan, your fuel pump. So we include the universal wiring harnesses to go from the power cell to your loads. And these harnesses have the mating connector that plugs into the power cell, and this is a sealed OEM grade connector, and then a pigtail of wire. All the output wires on the power cell are 14-gauge, so they can handle in excess of the rating of each power cell output. And it's using the same TXL insulation as we talked about with the 8-gauge wire. So it's chemical resistant and abrasion resistant. You cut that length of wire to the length you need. You put whatever terminal you need or connector on that wire to connect it to your headlights and fans, and your electrical system on the output side is done. We also include the input harness that's going to connect your master cell to your switches. Now there's an A harness that comes with every kit, and there's an optional B harness that you'll get based on the options you pick for your system. The master cell A harness gets you connections for inputs 1 through 24, and master cell B is for 25 through 48. These harnesses include the mating connector that plugs into the master cell, and then a long pigtail of wire. You cut that pigtail of wire to length, you crimp on whatever terminal you need, and you connect that master cell input wire to your switches. So we've talked about how we bring primary power in. We've talked about how we fuse that primary power. We've talked about how we go from the power cell out to the loads and how we connect the switches to the master cell. Next in the kit is what we call the three-way CAN cable. So this has 3 CAN connectors, and CAN stands for Controller Area Network, and it's an industry standard that we use to communicate between our cells. You're going to plug one of the ends of the CAN cable into the master cell, another end into the front power cell, and the last end into the third power cell. And that completes the data network that lets the master cell communicate with the 2 power cells. Now this CAN cable can be extended or shortened any way you need it to customize it to your car. Now our system is sealed, and it's designed for high moisture, for splash, and generally nasty environments. But to be completely sealed, every one of the ports on the master cell and the power cells has to be sealed up with a plug. So where you do not have the master cell B harness plugged in, we include a dummy harness or a dummy plug that plugs into that socket to completely seal the master cell. We also include a dummy CAN plug that will plug into one of the unused CAN ports on the power cell, and 2 power cell input feeds that plug the unused power feed inputs into the power cell. Next in the kit, you're going to find a terminating resistor. And that terminating resistor is there to balance the impedance of the transmission line along the CAN cable. This is very critical for reliable communication. It's included in the kit, and it just plugs into one of the open CAN ports on one of the power cells. Next, we include all the mini fuses that you would need. These plug into the outputs on the power cell and protect the gauges of wire going from the power cell to the things you're controlling. Lastly, we include an instruction manual that walks you through everything you need to wire the system, and a configuration sheet. That configuration sheet is unique to your system, and it is your roadmap to wiring the car. By wire color, it tells you what master cell inputs connect to which switches, and which power cell outputs connect to the things you're controlling. There are links in the description below that will take you to more videos that talk specifically about the configuration sheet, and also will take you to the manual. So if you have any questions about this, please reach out to our technical support team at 847-232-1991, or catch our website at www.infinitybox.com. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.